Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Did you know that in some US states, it's illegal to whistle underwater or carry an ice cream cone in your back pocket? I know, right? What kind of crazy laws are these? Well, get ready to dive into the wacky world of weird US laws because we're taking a hilarious road trip across all 50 states to uncover the most bizarre legislation ever written. We're talking about laws so strange, you'll be scratching your head and saying, they can't be serious, can they? And the best part, some of these laws are still technically enforceable today. So buckle up because we're about to expose the weirdest laws from every corner of this great nation. Stick around to discover more strange laws and don't forget to subscribe for more intriguing content. Alright, let's kick things off in the great state of Vermont, home to maple syrup, Ben & Jerry's, and apparently a deep-seated fear of underwater whistlers. That's right folks, in Vermont, it's against the law to whistle underwater. Now, I'm not sure what kind of aquatic symphony they're trying to preserve up there, but apparently your rendition of Yellow Submarine could land you in hot water. I mean, think about it. You're swimming in a lake, enjoying the cool, refreshing water, and suddenly the urge to whistle strikes. But wait, before you pucker up, remember the long arm of the law. You could be slapped with a hefty fine or worse public humiliation. Maybe they're worried about scaring away the fish. Or maybe it's some ancient Vermonter tradition passed down from generation to generation. Thou shalt not disturb the tranquility of the deep with thine unholy whistling. Whatever the reason, one thing's for sure, if you're planning a swimming trip to Vermont, leave your whistling lips on dry land. Next stop on our whirlwind tour of weird laws, Georgia, the Peach State. Now Georgia is known for its southern hospitality, delicious barbecue, and apparently a deep distrust of ice cream cones in back pockets. That's right folks, in Georgia, it's illegal to carry an ice cream cone in your back pocket on Sundays. Now you might be thinking, Jimmy, that's just ridiculous. What harm could a little ice cream cone possibly do in someone's back pocket? Well, my friend, this law has a surprisingly practical origin story. It all goes back to the early 1900s when horse theft was a serious problem. Apparently sneaky criminals would use ice cream cones to lure unsuspecting horses away from their owners. So, to combat this equine crime wave, Georgia passed a law prohibiting the carrying of ice cream cones in back pockets on Sundays, when folks were most likely to be out and about with their trusty steeds. Now, I don't know how effective this law actually was in deterring horse theft, but it's still on the books today, folks. So if you're ever in Georgia on a Sunday and you've got a hankering for a scoop of peach ice cream, make sure you carry that cone up front and center. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're headed to the Wild West, specifically Arizona, where the saguaros are tall and the laws are even taller. And when I say tall, I mean like donkey in a bathtub tall. You heard me right, folks. In Arizona, it's illegal for a donkey to sleep in a bathtub. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jimmy, who in their right mind would let a donkey sleep in their bathtub? Well, apparently, it was enough of a problem back in the day that they had to pass a law about it. The story goes that back in 1924 there was a massive flood in the town of Prescott, Arizona. And, as luck would have it, there was a photographer in town who had a donkey. Not just any donkey, mind you, but a donkey that was the star of his postcards. Well, this photographer, being a loving owner, decided to keep his prized donkey safe from the floodwaters by letting it sleep in his bathtub. Makes sense, right? Wrong. The bathtub broke loose, sending the poor donkey, and presumably the photographer's dreams of postcard fame, down the flooded streets. And that, my friends, is how Arizona ended up with a law prohibiting donkeys from sleeping in bathtubs. Alright folks, we're trading in our cowboy hats for fishing rods as we head to the Windy City, Chicago. Now, Chicago is known for its deep dish pizza, its iconic skyline, and apparently, its strict dress code for anglers. That's right folks, in Chicago it's illegal to fish in your pajamas. I know, it seems like a law dreamed up by a sleep-deprived comedian. But hey, I'm not complaining. It's not every day you get to report on a law that combines two of my favorite things: fashion, faux pas, and bizarre legislation. Picture this. You're sound asleep, dreaming of landing the big one, when suddenly you're jolted awake by an irresistible urge to go fishing. You stumble out of bed, grab your rod and reel, and head straight for the lake. But wait, before you cast your line, make sure you're not committing a fashion felony. Because in Chicago, fishing in your pajamas is a serious offense. Maybe they were concerned about the psychological well-being of the fish, like, hey, we're trying to catch you and eat you, but at least we could have the decency to put on some pants. Or maybe it was a matter of public decorum, Chicago is a classy city after all. Whatever the reason, one thing's for sure, if you're planning a fishing trip to Chicago, leave the PJs at home. Get ready to shout bingo, because we're headed to North Carolina where the barbecue is finger-licking good and the bingo games are strictly regulated. That's right folks, in North Carolina, it's illegal to hold more than 2 bingo games per week. I know what you're thinking, Jimmy, they put a limit on bingo, what is this, a communist country? Well, calm down, comrade, because this law actually has a heart of gold. It was enacted to prevent gambling addiction. Apparently back in the day, bingo was getting a little too wild in North Carolina. People were losing their shirts, their houses, their pet goldfish, all in the name of this seemingly innocent game of chance. So the government stepped in and said, enough is enough. 2 bingo games a week, that's your limit. Any more than that, and you're on your own. Now, I'm not sure if 2 bingo games a week is the magic number to prevent addiction, but hey, I'm not a doctor. I'm just a comedian who finds humor in the absurdity of life, especially when it comes to outdated laws. But seriously folks, gambling addiction is a real problem, and if you or someone you know is struggling, please reach out for help. Hold on to your grits folks, because we're headed deep into the heart of Dixie, Alabama, where the sweet tea flows like water and bear wrestling is strictly prohibited. That's right folks, you can't wrestle bears here, it's against the law. Apparently, it was enough of a problem back in the day. Bears are wild animals with sharp claws, so if you're ever in Alabama, just go for a jog instead. Get ready to silence your stomachs folks, because we're cruising down to Arkansas, where the catfish is fried to perfection, and the sandwich shops demand a little peace and quiet after dark. It's illegal to honk your car horn at a sandwich shop after 9 p.m. Seems like a law cooked up by a grumpy deli owner who just wanted a good night's sleep. But hey, who hasn't been tempted to lay on the horn when that pastrami craving hits at midnight? But before you unleash your inner foghorn, remember the brave sandwich makers of Arkansas, working tirelessly to satisfy your late-night cravings. They deserve a little peace and quiet, don't they? Now I'm all for a good sandwich run, but let's be honest folks, there's a time and a place for everything. And honking your horn at a sandwich shop after 9 p.m. is like showing up to a library in a marching band uniform. It's just not cool. So, the next time you're in Arkansas and you're feeling peckish after dark, do the right thing, park your car, walk inside, and order your sandwich like a civilized human being. And if you absolutely must honk your horn, at least wait until after sunrise. The sandwich makers will thank you for it. Hold on to your dental dams, folks, because we're sailing over to Rhode Island, the ocean state, where the clam chowder is to die for, and the Sunday shopping laws are enough to make you brush your teeth twice. That's right, folks, in Rhode Island it's illegal to sell toothpaste and a toothbrush to the same customer on a Sunday. I know, it's enough to make you want to floss in frustration. What kind of law prohibits good dental hygiene on the Lord's Day? Well, my friends, this little legal gem is a relic of the past, a holdover from the days of blue laws, those puritanical regulations designed to keep everyone on the straight and narrow, even if it meant sacrificing minty fresh breath. Apparently back in the day, the powers that be decided that Sunday should be a day of rest, not a day for indulging in frivolous activities like, keeping your teeth clean. So they slapped a ban on the sale of certain items, including toothpaste and toothbrushes, on Sundays. Saddle up, partners, because we're riding high in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado where the air is thin, the views are breathtaking, and the laws are designed to keep drunk cowboys off their high horses. That's right, folks. In Colorado, it's illegal to ride a horse while under the influence. Now I know what you're thinking, Jimmy. Who in their right mind would try to ride a horse after a few too many whiskeys? Well, apparently it's a bigger problem than you might think. I guess some folks just can't resist the urge to channel their inner John Wayne, even after they've had one too many sarsaparillas. But let me tell you something, folks. Riding a horse is not like riding a bicycle. It requires balance, coordination, and a certain level of sobriety. And when you combine alcohol with a 1,000-pound animal that can kick, bite, and stomp you into oblivion, well, let's just say it's a recipe for disaster. So, if you're ever in Colorado and you've had a few too many beers at the saloon, do yourself a favor and hail a carriage instead. We're back in Vermont, folks, for one last bite of legal weirdness. And this time, we're diving into the fascinating world of dentistry, or more specifically, the laws governing the wearing of false teeth. That's right, folks. In Vermont, Women need written permission from their husbands to wear false teeth. I know what you're thinking. Jimmy, you're kidding, right? This has to be a joke. Well, my friends, I wish I were kidding. This law, as outdated and ridiculous as it may seem, is a real head-scratcher. It's a blast from the past, a reminder of a time when women were considered property, not people, and their husbands had the legal right to dictate everything from their hairstyles to their dental work. Now, I'm not sure what possessed the lawmakers of yore to enact such a bizarre and controlling law. Maybe they were worried about women using false teeth to deceive potential suitors about their age or health. Whatever the reason, one thing's for sure, this law is a relic of a bygone era, a time when women were denied basic rights and freedoms that we now take for granted. So ladies, if you're ever in Vermont and you're feeling self-conscious about your smile, just remember, you don't need anyone's permission to feel confident and beautiful. Well folks, there you have it. A wild ride through the weirdest laws in America from coast to coast. We've seen it all, from whistling underwater bans to donkey bathtub prohibitions. It's enough to make you wonder what those lawmakers were smoking, right? But hey, that's America for you, a glorious melting pot of freedom, opportunity, and occasionally, some seriously head-scratching legislation. What did you think of these wacky laws? Let me know in the comments below if you've got any strange local ordinances from your neck of the woods. I'm always up for a good laugh. And hey, if you enjoyed this journey through America's quirkiest laws, please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more amazing content. Don't forget to check out the awesome music we used in this video, all from YouTube Studio. Until next time, stay weird, America.